Hi YouTube family, this is DLS Joy. This is my third time trying to make this video. I'm talking too soft. I need to start talking up, talk louder. So let's try this again. Okay, someone had asked me to elaborate on my after effect of my hysterectomy, and so that's what this video is about. So my what happened after my hysterectomy? Well, I guess let me give you a little bit of history. The reason why I had my hysterectomy because I had real bad endometriosis. I don't remember exactly when I was diagnosed with it. I just remember all through high school, young adult life, that I had really bad cycles. I mean, really bad. It was getting to the point where I was taking a bottle of ibuprofen, a big bottle of ibuprofen monthly. You know, when I was on a cycle, when I wasn't on a cycle, I was just having a lot of pain. So the first time that I saw a GYN doctor about it was, you know, because I just kind of felt like this is just unusual that I keep having this kind of pain. Didn't know anything about endometriosis at the time, but when I told him my symptoms and what I was going through, you know, he basically said that sounds like what I had. So my first surgery, I had a laparoscopic. I hope I'm saying it right because it's been so long since I've had all these procedures. I think it was a laparoscopic where, you know, they go in and scope and look to see how bad whatever's going on with you. It was supposed to have been an outpatient procedure. When I woke up, my mother told me that it ended up turning to be a major surgery, and I basically had to stay in the hospital. I don't know if it was overnight or maybe a couple of days, but that doctor at the time, that doctor that I saw that diagnosed endometriosis, basically said that if my body was prepped, that he would have done the hysterectomy right then and there, because my endometriosis was so bad and the scar tissue from it had literally like where your ovaries were supposed to be, where they're supposed to be, mines weren't. Mines was pushed, one was in the back and one was somewhere else. So he basically had to put those back where they were supposed to be. And then the reason why I was having so much bowel problems was because my uterus and my colon, from all the scar tissue from the endometriosis, had binded my uterus and my colon together. So, like I said, and he wanted to do a hysterectomy right then and there, but because I wasn't prepped, meaning that if he had did it, I would have had to wear a colostomy bag for like a year at that time. So he didn't do it, but I was informed, you know, after my surgery and stuff, that I'm eventually going to have a hysterectomy. So basically, if I want to have any more children, then I need to do it right away. Got on birth controls, which was supposed to like minimize the extent of my cycle, not make them so heavy, but that really didn't help. I was still taking pain pills. So my second surgery was basically, you know, another scope. Well, this time it was actual scope, and basically I was going to try to have another child, but that didn't happen. So the second surgery was really just a waste. And so the third surgery basically is when I decided that it was time for me to have my hysterectomy. I would go to the emergency room a lot behind this because of the pain and stuff. and I think it was partly the pain, and another part was partly seeking some type of attention, because it's kind of like something I felt like I was going through by myself. No one was really understanding what I was going through. But the ER doctor at the time basically asked me, did I plan on having more kids? And my son was a teenager, so I couldn't see myself starting over trying to raise another child. And I told him no, and so he basically asked me, so why are you putting yourself through this? So that's when I decided to have a hysterectomy. Saw my GYN, which, every year when I would have my yearly, they were always painful. So, signed my waiver and stuff like that, had my hysterectomy. Now, I didn't have a partial, I had a complete, because he did explain to me that, now this was back in 2002. They may have better procedures now, but this was back in the day when I had mine. But he did tell me that most women who have endometriosis and they kept their ovaries, basically would have to end up coming back in 6 months to have their ovaries removed, because the hormones that you're making in your body is what's setting off the endometriosis. So if you have endometriosis on your abdominal cavity or wherever, every time you have a cycle, your endometriosis is going through that cycle with you, and they're bleeding too. And so that's what's causing the scar tissue to build up. And I didn't want to have a fourth surgery, so I just had decided on a complete hysterectomy. Now, how I felt after my hysterectomy, I think my after effect of my hysterectomy was more cosmetic. As far as mentally or if I was depressed, I don't think I was depressed behind that, because I was already going through some depression behind other stuff. So, but depressed behind not being able to have children, no. Because I had already made up in my mind that I was through with as far as having more kids, and also I made up in my mind if I just really desired to have another child, I would adopt. And since I have no desire to have any more children as far as raising, then I was totally through. So I wasn't depressed behind having my womanhood taken away from me. I was more concerned about the pain that I was having all the time. And, just the pain was bad. I think my problem was more cosmetic. Like I said, I was instant menopause, surgical menopause, what they call it. And the tonus of my boobs looked like instantly just whoop, dropped. As far as me having my stomach, especially around that area where I was cut, that muscle is not there. What used to not take me so much as far as toning and exercise and losing weight, it takes like pulling a tooth. It just takes a lot more now for me, and it could be because I'm getting older too, to lose weight, to tone up what I can. The hair issue, as far as when women get older, they seem to have problem with hair growing, and I was having problem with that, but it's not a whole lot, so knock on wood with that, but I still have issues with it. So mine is more my issues as far as my hysterectomy. When I had my hysterectomy, is more cosmetic. I didn't break out or anything like that. Didn't break out. I don't recall ever breaking out. My skin tone has always been pretty decent. I tried the hormone replacement therapy. I didn't see where it helped because I was still having hot flashes, which they tell you that's the only thing that's really good for is hot flashes. So I would do like black coash and Quan, which is in my multi vitamins that I take from Whole Foods, women's multivitamin. Let's see, that's all I can really think of. It's more cosmetic for me. Like I said, yeah, I've gained some weight, and yeah, I've lost the tonus that I had before I had mine. I mean, that was instant. And if I could really show you a picture of this was March 2000. So yeah, I was well endowed up there, but this was after I had my hysterectomy. Big difference. Big difference, I think. It's like I'm much more rounder in this one. So, you know, so like I said, I think basically more is my cosmetic than mental or emotional. I'm trying to think. And also, there's a myth that maybe it's a myth that I thought that this was a myth for me. I thought that after I had my hysterectomy that I didn't have to worry about like cervical cancer or anything like that. Well, my pap smear last year came back abnormal, and so I had to go get a second opinion, and I basically went back to my GYN who did the hysterectomy, since he has more history as far as, you know, my female anatomy. And I asked him, how could that be if I no longer have a cervix? And he basically said where the incision, where my cervix used to be, that can become cancerous. So that myth of not having cervical cancer because you no longer have a cervix is not true. So now I have to, you know, watch for that. Yeah, so if there's any specific questions, like I said, I really can't think of anything that majorly happened after my hysterectomy. Like I said, mine was more cosmetic than anything. So just post them, anything else you'd like to know, and I'll try to answer them, and thank you for watching.